Good morning. How's everyone today? Today I am doing really good, other than it's another rainy day in Ohio. So that means I can't work out in the yard or in the garden, so I have to start working on what's to do in the house. Have you ever thought about downsizing? The size of your home affects the cost of everything, your utilities, your property taxes, um, the cost of your maintenance, your house insurance, um, and the bigger the place, the less time you have for enjoying life. That's how I see it anyways. I mean, when it comes to sizing down, figure out what size square footage you have now and try and find something half that size. That's going to free up a lot of time. Like if you have 2,400 square feet, look for something that is 1,200 square feet. 1,200 square feet, uh, look for something 600 square feet. Just to give yourself an idea, of how much space we take up in this world, which is quite a bit. And are we actually taking it up, or is it materialistic things taking it up? I mean, a lot of people, they have to have that extra bedroom, they have to have that dining room, they have to have a garage, they have to have a pantry, they have to have a washing room, for your laundry. Well, I would definitely need to have a laundry room or a place where my washer and dryer could fit comfortably. Like maybe in an extra big kitchen, I could fit in my washer and dryer. Um, Definitely, I don't need an upstairs anymore, so I would like to downsize to a one-story home where there's not a bunch of steps to get up into it. Uh, Going to a um, smaller abode is going to impl- not imply, but I'm going to have to say you're going to have to be more organized than ever. Because when it comes to downsizing, you can't take everything in a bigger square foot area into a smaller square foot. It's going to be so cluttered you're going to choke out. It just will choke your being. So I sorted through and went through a lot of things for quite a few years, trying to decide what I needed and how much area I needed to live in. I mean, to get down to a lower amount of utilities being spent and a lower amount of property tax and insurance. And generally, your property tax will run the same as your insurance for your home. So, um, with the 37% increase in uh, groceries in the last 2 years, that has a lot to do with my wanting to size down and move to an area that will be a more effective cost of living for me and will enable me to have more of a quality of life. It's hard to get quality of life, so when you buy this time, or if you're looking, look for those things that you can do, that the city or town or the area, I look at the whole county, provides for you in entertainment free. Um, just know who you are and go for those things. Be around those things. Then you will be having more quality of life. It might be a simple thing like being around your family. You want to be near your family, you know. I don't know. Everyone's different, so you have to decide what your desires are. Not so much wants, but what do you need? Because we're talking mental health here. And as we age, if we're stressed out about certain things, um, it's mentally going to affect us, which then is going to affect our physical being. So when it come down to downsizing, not to get off subject, I do ramble now. I had run across a lady years ago who said, well, after you get all that sorting done and decide what you actually need in furniture, um, this is what you do. You go in every room and you write down 200 things that you're keeping in that room. Everything else has to go. It takes some time. It takes a lot of thought. Because you also got to think, am I going to need this in the future, or do I only need it now and it's been hanging in the closet forever? So when I went in the bedroom, I thought, okay, well, I've got a dresser, a wardrobe, a nightstand, and my bed. That's 4 things right there. Then she's telling me for every dresser and wardrobe, I got to count the drawers and add that. So that added 6 more items to my 4 items, which give me 10 items. And it's like, okay, does it have a closet? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, okay, you got to take 30 off of that because I'm sure you got more than 30 things in that closet. A closet only holds, a normal closet only holds 30 hangers. So it's like, okay, you can only have 30 items in the closet, blah, blah, blah. Because you do have dresser drawers for the socks, underwears, and accessories that we need for our clothing. So I'm like, okay. And she says, do you have a shelf in that closet? And I said, yeah. Okay. And she's going, well, okay. You got to add 2 more to the number. So by the time, I'm going through these little just things she's telling me, I'm up to 50 of the 200 things that I can have. 'Cause even my bedside table has a drawer. And so the bed, counts. So, this is all the things we're going to move, because if you've got 5 or 6 rooms in a house, let's just cut it down, and you want to move to a 3-room house, then you got to cut them rooms in half. So if you got 400 things in that living room or that bedroom, you got to cut that down to 200. It made very organized sense to me. So it's like, okay, it's like, that could tell you how many boxes you're going to need. And at our age, we need to use smaller boxes to move things because of lifting. We don't want to hurt our backs. I get these little small tucker totes too. They're fabulous. I've got my decorating for holidays in them, and I'm going to start putting my decor that I can in them. It's like, I go in my living room and I say, what's hanging on the wall? And I start counting because metal art's important to me, and I have my metal art on the wall. So I'm like, okay, I'm counting them first. And then I'm like, okay, well, I don't need a couch and a love seat no more. I'm just going to go with the recliners and the chairs, because the chairs will fit to adding into your room space. I've got plenty of coffee tables and end tables and keepsakes, and I started adding up, and I had 325 things in my living room. And I recently just bought a bookcase because I figured if it fits on that bookcase, it only counts as 4 because it only has 4 shelves. So that'll give me 4 shelves and 1 item, the bookcase. That makes 5. So I've got it all the way down to 125 for my living room. I've got my bedrooms down to 100 items. On my kitchen, oh Lord help me. I'm hoping with bringing everything down under the 200 that I can have a few extras for my kitchen because I like to cook. It's like all this stuff takes up room in your house. Because if you have X amount of cabinets in your kitchen and you move, you're more likely going to have half of what you have now. So I started thinking and thinking, okay, what can I get by with? What can I use? And I thought, well, what's sitting in the back of the cabinet, I ain't using. And there's no need to have more cups than you have plates. So I figure a coffee cup per plate, a drinking glass per plate setting. That way I could set a nice table. And then I got to thinking, how many settings do I need? Because if I move to a smaller place and I don't have a dining room, which I don't have now, I've got to go with a littler table. And there's usually 4 chairs to a littler table. So I'm like, okay, I could put a couple of wooden chairs that I have up to the table if company come with kids or something. So I was like, all right, I will go with a 10-piece setting. And then I thought, no, I'm going to stick with an 8-piece setting. And I have mixed match dishes, so it don't really matter. If they're Corral, they all go together, so it's a wonderful thing. I don't like the Corral coffee cups. I like mugs myself. I have 2 or 3 travel mugs. And, it's like, okay, I've got these little cute casserole dishes for 2 people to eat out of. They fit so nice in a microwave. There's no waste of food that way. And I'm like very pleased with them. My son got them for me for Christmas, and it just tickles me to death because then all I have to do is stick one of them Rubbermaid lids on that came with it. No, it's Purex. Sorry about that. Purex. And they match my measuring cups and my serving bowls. So I'm like, I've got this, because then that way it just fits nicely. The Corral dishes, they fit nicely, So it's like, okay, so I'm thinking, I'm going to need about 6 boxes in my kitchen now. Appliances. Do I need every appliance that I have? Crock pot, microwave, that'll work. I would like to have a toaster oven. I don't have a toaster oven. I do have a toaster. I don't use electric can openers. I no longer have a waffle maker, but I seen someone in a video that has a little Presto waffle maker that would be great for 1 or 2 people, and it's small. It's not going to take up a whole cabinet area, and cleanup's got to be easier. So, it's just, if you want to be more organized in your next home, start preparing now. Don't wait around. It's going to rain some days, and that'll give you something to do. Most people move between May and August, by the way. And you won't see prices drop on houses until August to December. Then they start going back up again. It's just something I learned from the real estate when I worked there. So my optimal time really to move is after August, should I find something. Basically, this is about your overall happiness. Are you living where you want to live? That's the number one thing. How are you with your finances? Would moving save you money? It's going to cost to begin with. I ain't gonna lie. Moving trucks are expensive. Unless you're only going to take what'll fit in your car, then yes, prepare for an expense of moving or storage. are you saving money now? You need to at least save for that storage room. I mean, ask yourself, what is the upkeep, the utilities, the property taxes in the new area you want to live? It's very reflective of a lot of things. If it's lower than where you are now, and it has what you want to be around, go for it. If it's out in BFE and it takes you forever to get to a store, to a doctor, to a hospital, I wouldn't advise it. I mean, they say you shouldn't be living anywhere when you're older 10 minutes away from a hospital. Well, I can stretch that to 15 to 20 myself. Depends on how fast we drive, right? Then we got to think of how far is the beach, if that's your thing. How far is the walking trails? How far is a college to take some classes? Um, I know a couple states that if you are over a certain age limit, classes are free. If you want to take classes, it's free. Um, it's entertaining to me to go and take college classes. Um, and I meet people. And it makes me understand the younger generation, too. I will be starting back on that as soon as I get things done here and get this house sold. It's a big decision, but one that I am very comfortable with. I have no qualms about it. I have been stuck in a bigger city with neighbors right up my butt, so to speak, even though I am on a quarter-acre lot. These driveways are right, I don't know why they built the houses like they did, right next to each other, a driveway apart. It just, like, don't matter if someone's pulling in your driveway, you can hear them pulling in the neighbor's driveway.